Okay, so people have been curious about Red Velvet's Joy and her maybe ex-boyfriend Crush, the R&B singer. They announced they were dating in like 2021, but Joy allegedly unfollowed Crush on Instagram last year. I want to see what the vibe is and where they are now, and do it as respectfully as possible. So with that being said, everything I say is all alleged and for entertainment purposes only, and with peace and love, and let's go! Joy will be on the left, Crush will be on the right, and this is the energy in between. Oh, well, right off the bat, it kind of seems like Joy showed up as the Queen of Cups in the reverse position, which would be somebody who feels undervalued in some way, or in some way like their emotions aren't being taken care of or catered to. He showed up as the Four of Swords in the reverse position, which would be like somebody who is like trying to like get energized or starting to like do things, especially when it comes to like thinking. The energy in between is the Queen of Pentacles. I mean, like at present, it seems like there's not a lot of, I'm trying to like word this carefully. Both of them feel like the other one isn't like meeting their needs, or in some ways just like not satisfying them. And I think both of them feel neglected in different ways. To me, it seems like Joy's energy is more like she feels underappreciated, undervalued, or in some ways not taken care of emotionally. He seems almost like he's not supported, maybe in his like dreams or in like what he thinks. Then because like the Queen of Pentacles would be somebody in the reverse position is like a lack of care. It seems more like currently with the cards that we have right now, it seems like Joy, her energy is like stronger. I want to be careful in how I present this. So Joy showed up as the Two of Wands. Crush showed up as the Empress in the reverse position. Energy in between is the Four of Cups. This card is in relationships. It can be kind of complicated. The card in and of itself to me always means like strategizing or planning for the future. However, because it's in a relationship, it sometimes can talk about intimacy and affection, and that can be like physical intimacy. It can also be other types of intimacy as well. And you also have to pay attention to the way that people are facing. So like Joy's card is facing away from his energy. Okay, like I'll be honest, I don't necessarily think they're together, but I don't necessarily think they're out of each other's lives either. Their connection's interesting. I think they have a really long, because they've been together for a while, right? I don't know when they were announced, like 2021. They've had a history together, which shows through the cards. But anyway, it seems sort of like part of the reason why there is a breakdown in their relationship currently is because like of an intimacy issue. Like he wasn't as affectionate or as like pleasing to her as she wanted to be. IDK. We're just gonna leave it there. He showed up as the Empress in the reverse position, which could mean a couple things. It could mean that she viewed him as a little bit like feminine or not quite as like masculine or satisfying in some way. And I kind of also feel like he viewed her as like very needy. That's the word that came to mind, was like she's kind of needy, she needs a lot. The Four of Cups, it literally is like being dissatisfied. They both just seem kind of dissatisfied with each other currently. That's the energy currently. And I guess I'll clarify in a second when we're talking about maybe like in the past, but presently it's like they both seem like dissatisfied. Like you're not giving me what I want in any way. They're not on the same page. I don't think they've been on the same page for a while. Joy showed up as the Four of Wands, which is like a happily ever after. Sometimes it can be a marriage card as well. Crush showed up as the Five of Cups. That's interesting because this is 4 and this is 5. I think in some ways they are a good match, and in other ways, like, I feel like in most ways they're a good match, but there's some key things that like make them like poor for each other. It would be like in all ways like we like the same food and we have the same hobbies, but it's sort of like when it comes to living together, for example. I don't know if they're living together or not, but when you're living with somebody, it's like you hate how like dirty they are, and it's something you can't get over. That's kind of what it is. But anyway, her energy is the Four of Wands. I feel like she kind of still holds out hope that things will work out, or maybe their relationship will get back together or become stronger in some way. And he showed up as like the Five of Cups, which is like getting over a disappointment or trying to like focus on like the bright side again. And the King of Swords, I do think they still talk. They've known each other a very long time. Their connection's very old, at least. And 2021 was kind of a while ago already, but their connection's very old, older than 2021, I think. But it's not giving old married couple either, though. It's just like, I don't know how to describe this. It's interesting too because they're if you're paying attention to the numbers on the cards, like 4 and 5, and this is 5 and 5, they're in the middle of it. I mean, like, to me that can kind of indicate that what's the word? there's potential they could get back together. There's potential their relationship could improve. There's potential they could be together for a long time. At present, I don't really feel like they're on the same page. I don't really feel like they even really kind of enjoy each other right now. I don't think they're officially together. But it's like there's the potential. Should they do these things is a different question, but it's sort of like the fives is like being in the middle of something though. So I don't think whatever business they have together is necessarily complete yet. Their connection feels like something of like learning. Like in this lifetime, they're supposed to be in each other's lives to like learn something from one another. Anyway, so she showed up as the Five of Swords, which would be like conflict. He showed up as the Five of Pentacles, which is like needing help, asking for help, wanting help. And I think he's kind of in a better place than she is currently, because a lot of his cards are more like active cards and movement cards. I think he's focused on his career or in some way like work, which could be him as a singer, but he could be doing other things. I'm not super familiar. That's my bad. Okay, so the energy in between is the Three of Cups, which would be like, oh, I think they have a lot of shared friends. They have a lot of shared things in general, because the Three of Cups is like shared community. It can be friendship, it can be harmony, etc. This seems like such like a normal kind of like relationship you would like run into, like a run-of-the-mill. I mean, like celebrities, they're just like us, but it's almost like they've been together for a long time. They probably had mutual friends between each other. It seems like he kind of got those friends. I don't know if they were his friends and became her friends when they were together or whatever, but it seems like he has more people to rely on, and it seems like, I don't think it's like people are taking sides in their breakup necessarily. It's more just like, I don't know how else to frame this except like he got the friends in like the divorce, but it's not like that necessarily. Because I mean, like if you're the friend between two relationing couples, it's just sort of you just kind of gravitate even if you don't want to. Anyway, but she her cards are a lot like there's a lot of emotion, there's a lot of regret, there's a lot of wanting, and there's a lot of desire. That's also her like energetic emotions right now. I think she's taking whatever split they have kind of hard. She just seems really hurt, to be honest, which is kind of sad. But this is also like conflict. I wouldn't say their relationship is one where somebody cheated. I wouldn't say this is a relationship where someone even really did something wrong. It was genuinely like they just fought a lot over like needs and wants essentially, and it's sort of like a mismatch of like personality. I think it's also a mismatch of expectation as well. King of Cups, Queen of Wands. Oh my gosh. They're in each other's, they are like caught up. I don't know how to describe this. Like obsessive kind of is the word that comes to mind. Like they're I think they were kind of enmeshed almost, or like they were very much, you know, like when couples are too like intertwined with each other, like they're not individuals. I think they kind of fell into that a little bit, which is why they're struggling right now, because they're in each other's energy. Like this is Joy, right? But this is Crush being in Joy's energy and Joy being in Crush's energy. So on Crush's side, he views her as the Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands is like the it girl card. Famous. I would say Joy is a little bit more famous than Crush is. But also, I think he kind of views her a little bit like fiery, in a like argumentative though, and also kind of like, oh, like she's all that or something. Like I don't know how to express this. Like, yeah, but like. Joy views Crush kind of as like emotionally unavailable. I mean, and like truly, honestly, it does seem like Crush views her as kind of like needy almost. And I can't find a better word for this, but like bratty. But don't focus on that word necessarily. But just somebody who just like needy, I guess. But like high maintenance. Oh my god, that's not the word I'm ascribing to Joy, but that would be the word that comes to mind when I think of Crush thinking about Joy. So like I think he thinks of her as kind of high maintenance. Joy views Crush as like emotionally unavailable or emotionally unsupportive in some way, and can sometimes like instigate fights and then kind of play dumb about it. The energy in between though is like a happily ever after, which is interesting. I mean, like the energy in between them this whole time has been relatively positive. I don't know if they will get back together, but the thing is, it does seem like they talk or are in each other's lives to some degree. But like if they wanted to make it work, they could make it work. Should they is a whole other can of worms, but unhappiness, like your drive, your passion being, I also kind of feel like it's just, I don't know if they're the same age or not, but there might be like some planetary influences that are like getting in the way, but I also think it's just like life has also gotten in the way of their relationship. Like there are external factors, for example, like if work is really stressful or like there's something going on with your family, I think that also played a role. I think it was a lot of things that just kind of hampered their relationship. But Joy showed up as the Sun in the reverse position, which is like unhappiness. He showed up as the Knight of Wands, which is like a passion being out in the world, is like a lack of completion essentially. What's this mean? Aww. Ooh. Actually, this is great news. So this Joy showed up as like moving towards something and away from something else. Swords can indicate communication. They might start like talking again. This showed up as like going to the past, going back into the past, and the energy in between is the devil in the reverse position, which would be like the releasing of something toxic. I think this is going to happen soon, if it's not already happened, where they're kind of going to have like a really strong rehash of their relationship, trying to weed out the things that just like aren't working. I mean, like, energetically, I don't know why I'm so hesitant to be like, yeah, like, because like the thing is, they can make it work, and I don't know why, but it's like energetically, it's like, should you, or should you just like maybe call it quits and find somebody else? It's hard to say. I think they could overcome the obstacles in the relationship. I believe that. And I guess it would be worth it. The thing is, I don't necessarily see them ending up married. I just see them in like a long-term relationship for a while until the relationship in the future kind of dissolves into something else. It's hard to explain. I don't think either one will give each other what they want in the very end. But the things that they'll get along the way will be valuable. It's the friends we make along the way. Anyway, but they could start talking again and starting to improve and work on their relationship. Oh, wow. You know, another thing I think with the relationship is that, like, he blamed her a lot for stuff. Not to say, I don't want to say either person is right or wrong, good or bad, but I could see that being a thing. I also feel like Joy was just, like, I think she's somebody, when she's upset, she starts crying. You know, some people, and it's like they're very angry, but instead of, like, yelling, they just kind of start crying. I think she's one of those people, and I think he kind of thought that was a little bit manipulative, even though it wasn't. It was just sort of, like, both people, I think, needed to maybe work a little bit more on, like, how they communicate their emotions. That's not something, you know, you're usually taught, so you have to figure it out. I get it. We're all humans going through life. Anyway, I think they're going to go over that aspect of the relationship as well. Even if they're not back together, I think they'll be friends. They have the potential to be good friends. They're the type of exes that could actually be really good friends after they date. Anyway, she showed up as the 5 again, which would be the 5 of Wands, which is like petty fighting, arguments, but they're not like super violent or whatever. He showed up as the 8 of Swords, which is like being bound up by your mind or communication. And this is like working at something, but it's the wrong something. I do feel like they're going to start talking again. They're going to try to rehash things. It's going to bring up old arguments, old wounds. It's not what they should be focusing on. I don't think they should go back into the past, if I'm honest. That wouldn't help them. I feel like they're going to do it, though. I don't know why. I just have that feeling. I have the inkling. They shouldn't. If you're watching, gang, I would recommend, the cards would recommend, you just point out, like, things as they come up. And you start to have, like, a very, like, open dialogue about your needs and your wants and how you can compromise. You shouldn't go back into the past. That won't help you. Oh! Uh-oh. It's not good. The Death in the reverse would be like a delay of a rebirth, or like something new, something being born again. He showed up as the Moon, which is secrets. It can be like unconscious too, so it's not always like nefarious. Sometimes it's just something you don't realize. And then you have the 8 of Wands, and that would be her energy directing at him. There's something that happened in the relationship she can't let go of, and there's something he's not being honest about. I think it's something that he won't admit to her, but she knows is true. And I think it is actually true in like a general way. I don't know if but the thing is, it's weird because I don't know if he has come to the awareness that he's like, quote unquote, in the wrong. Because it's like, are we ever in the wrong or right? Life is just happening. Anyway, that's going to be a reoccurring thing. Okay. I mean, like, overall, I see potential for them. I do feel like they're in each other's lives to some degree. I don't feel like they're together, but I do feel like they could end up back together or back in each other's lives. I feel like if I was to genuinely, honestly give them advice, I think it'd be advantageous if they were kind of like friends and maybe grew a little bit more. If they really wanted to be together, like be friends, do some self-development, grow a little bit more, and then come back together. Or maybe just kind of call it quits. IDK. Because it's so weird. Like, we didn't really get any strong relationship cards. There weren't any strong romance cards. There weren't any strong unity cards. But I do feel like at present there are a lot of hurt feelings still. Well, thank you.